The husband has lived in their apartment for a number of years. The owners recently sold it, and the new ones are moving in, so my daughter and her husband have to move. The problem is rents have gone up dramatically. The rent they are paying is $1,100 for a one-bedroom, which I thought was a lot. But now that I'm trying to help them find a place, most are now going for around $2,000 a month or more. They can't afford this. My daughter knows she is always welcome at home. Granted, a baby complicates things. I wasn't happy about her having a baby. She's young, just turned 22, but I would never deny her housing. However, I can't stand her husband. Let's just call him Aaron for simplicity's sake. I wouldn't invite Aaron over for dinner, let alone let him live with me. Aaron's in his mid-30s. Criminal history. Hair trigger temper. Chronically immature and has one hell of a jealous, possessive streak that has caused strain in their relationship, which I obviously do not approve of. Honestly, when she told me she was pregnant, I finally thought we'd be rid of Aaron. I genuinely thought he's exactly the kind of man to ditch. They've been on and off over and over since she was about 18, 19. Alas, if anything, it made him cling to her tighter. They had a very rushed wedding, and this is their longest stint together, without any breakups. Just over a year. There's still been a fair share of dramatics, of course, but I am surprised they've made it this far. Even so, I simply don't want to live with Aaron. I don't like him. I don't want him around me. I'd go above and beyond for my daughter and the baby. They can stay as long as they need, but not him. Obviously, this has created a rift between my daughter and me. She doesn't want to live separately from Aaron. I told her then she needs to figure out alternative arrangements. Well, their move-out date is rapidly approaching, the 15th of December, and they've still not been able to find a place, and she's panicking. She's been begging me to let them stay. I reiterated my terms. Aaron simply cannot stay here. This led to a lot of tears and some angry words, namely, me being a jerk. I can genuinely see why she might think that, but I also have to think about myself and my own sanity. Mini update. I do believe because of my anger and frustration, I exaggerated Aaron's flaws in my post below. Has he struggled with his temper? Yes, but I should not have described it as hair trigger. I have never thought of him as dangerous. I have never feared for my daughter's safety nor my own. I also described him as jealous possessive, and while I do see some of those tendencies, he's never tried to restrict her movements or isolate her. She's always dealt with a tremendous amount of anxiety, particularly when it comes to social situations. As much as I loathe to admit it, in this regard, he's been a wonderful cheerleader. He could keep her at home where she feels most secure, but he truly does encourage her to get out and be adventurous. As for his criminal record, it's all below the age of 24. He has not been in trouble with the law since. It still makes me uncomfortable, but I can admit he's been stable. In all the time I've known him, he's had no issues holding down a job, paying his rent, etc. What bothers me the most is the age gap. I can't explain that away or change it. It is what it is. It makes me uncomfortable. With that said, people here keep saying he's a predator groomer, but I just don't see that. I could very well be blind, naive. For now, however, I will defend him in this regard. Anyways, if posting here has shown me anything, it's that Aaron's not nearly as bad as I had built him up in my mind. So many people here are imagining a monster. He's just a guy, he means well, he's trying. He's still irritating, opinionated, immature and talks too much, but he does try his damnedest to take care of my daughter. He is a capable and present father and loves being one. They are married, he is family. Lots of people have stated they are a unit. They come together or not at all. I've started to agree. It's for that reason I've decided to allow them all to stay with me while they figure things out. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. If she is adult enough to get pregnant and get married, she is also adult enough to figure things out. Either she accepts your terms, it's your house, or they can stay with friends or his family. Can't have it both ways. Not the idiot. Comment 2. Not the idiot. She chose a loser and that carries consequences. Stand your ground. Now for the update. Thanks for all the comments on my last post. It's been a week since I laid down the law about Aaron not staying with us, and things have been tense to say the least. My daughter and Aaron have been scrambling to find a place, but the rental market is brutal. They've applied for several apartments, but either they're too expensive or they get outbid by other applicants. It's a mess. The move-out date is getting closer, and my daughter's stress is through the roof. She's been calling me every day, sometimes crying, sometimes angry. She doesn't understand why I can't just accept Aaron for her sake and the baby's. I've tried to explain my feelings, but it always ends in an argument. She says I'm being unreasonable and that I'm putting her in an impossible position. Aaron, on the other hand, has been surprisingly quiet. He's been going to work, coming home, and spending time with my daughter and the baby. He's been avoiding me, which is fine by me, but it's also kind of weird. I expected him to blow up at me by now, but he hasn't. Maybe he's trying to prove he's changed, or maybe he's just biding his time until they have to move. They've been staying with us for the past few days because their apartment is all packed up and they have nowhere else to go. It's been awkward. Aaron and I barely speak, and when we do, it's just the bare minimum. My daughter tries to act like everything is normal, but I can tell she's upset. The baby is the only one who's oblivious to the tension, thankfully. I've been helping them look for places, but it's tough. Every time we find something that might work, it gets snatched up before we can make a move. I've even offered to help with the rent, but it's not enough. The prices are just too high and their combined income isn't enough to compete. The other day, we had a big blow-up. My daughter accused me of not trying hard enough to help them. She said I was being selfish and that I didn't care about her or the baby. That hurt. I've been doing everything I can, but it's just not working out. Aaron jumped in and said some things that I won't repeat here. It got heated, and I ended up telling them both that maybe they should look for help elsewhere. Since then, it's been even more uncomfortable. We're all living under the same roof, but we might as well be strangers. My daughter spends most of her time in her room with the baby, and Aaron is either at work or out somewhere. I don't know where he goes, and I don't ask. I'm worried about what's going to happen when the 15th comes, and they still don't have a place. I don't want to kick my daughter and my grandchild out on the street, but I also can't live with Aaron indefinitely. It's a no-win situation, and I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I've been thinking about reaching out to some family members to see if they can take them in, but I'm not sure if that will work. My family isn't exactly close-knit, and I don't know if they'd be willing to help. Plus, I don't want to air our dirty laundry to everyone. It's just a mess. I love my daughter and my grandchild more than anything, but this situation with Aaron is driving a wedge between us. I don't know how to fix it without compromising my own principles. I'm hoping for a miracle at this point, but I'm not holding my breath. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Been there, mate. My sister's boyfriend was in the same boat, and I couldn't stand the guy. But when push came to shove, we had to put our differences aside for her sake. It's rough, but sometimes you gotta bite the bullet for family peace. Comment 2. Hey, have you tried reaching out to local housing assistance programs? Some places offer emergency support for situations like yours. It might help take the pressure off while they search for a more permanent solution. Hang in there and good luck. Now for the next story. I, 40-year-old female, am South Asian, and my husband, Luke, 42-year-old male, and the rest of his family are white. We have a beautiful 14-year-old daughter, Amara, who has decided to start wearing bindis in day-to-day life 2 months ago. Before anyone asks, no, I didn't pressure her into this decision. This was all on her own, and I don't even wear bindis daily. I helped her buy a bindi bag, and Amara had carried it around with her whenever she'd be gone from home for more than a day ever since. Last weekend, I let Amara go to my sister-in-law, Bree's, 45-year-old female, house. Bree has 2 kids, Danielle, 15-year-old female, and Chase, 13-year-old male. Saturday afternoon, Amara called me crying and told me that Danielle and Chase had been teasing her about the dots on her forehead since Friday. That morning, Danielle and Chase had grabbed the bag out of her room and dumped it into the pool as a prank. It sank to the bottom, and since Amara can't swim, she wasn't able to grab it. Amara went to Bree and told her what happened, and Bree took Danielle and Chase's side, saying it was kids being kids, and that they did Amara a favour with that prank. I comforted my daughter over the phone and went to go pick her up soon after Amara said she didn't want to be at Bree's house anymore. Once I got there, I helped Amara put her bag into the trunk before going to Bree to confirm the story. Bree confirmed it and doubled down on what she said hard. I was irritated at that and soon left with Amara. When we got home, I told Luke what happened, and he suggested not having Amara go over to Bree's house until Bree apologises for saying that the kids did Amara a favour by throwing her bindi bag into the pool, and the kids apologise for the incident itself. I agreed with that being a good idea, but checked to make sure Amara was okay with it first. Amara said that she doesn't even want to see her cousins or aunt now anyways, so I sent Bree a text explaining that Amara wouldn't be coming over unless they all apologise. I didn't get a response at first, but when I did, Bree was telling me that was unfair and that I was punishing her and her kids over a dumb prank. I just replied that I just want an apology for my daughter, and that should be a simple request. Bree didn't reply back, but my mother-in-law ended up calling me and telling me that I was horrible for not letting Bree see her niece, and that both Amara and I needed to get over the incident, when I explained Amara doesn't want to be around Bree or her kids either. Luke is on my side with this, but my mother-in-law won't stop texting about how I need to just let this go and let bygones be bygones. Edit. I ended up editing this since I accidentally used my husband's real name a few times due to getting angry while writing this post. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, good for sticking up for your kid. Your mother-in-law is enabling discriminatory bullying. On a different note, it would be good to teach Amara to swim. It's a good life skill to have. Comment 2. Not the idiot, but OP, you might want to edit the second half of your post, since I think you used your husband's real name and not Luke. Now, for the update, thanks to everyone who read my last post. It's been a month since the incident at Bree's house, and things have been tense, to say the least. After the whole bindi bag situation, I thought things would eventually cool down, but it seems like they've only heated up. Luke and I have been trying to navigate this family drama while keeping Amara's feelings at the forefront. She's been pretty shaken up by everything, and it's clear that the teasing from her cousins has left a mark. We've been doing our best to support her, encouraging her to express herself and her heritage without fear. She's been sticking to her decision to wear bindis, and I'm proud of her for that. In the weeks following the incident, Bree never reached out to apologise. Instead, she's been playing the victim, telling anyone in the family who will listen that I'm being unreasonable and that I'm the one causing a rift in the family. It's frustrating because all I wanted was for her to acknowledge that what happened was wrong and to apologise to Amara. Luke's been a rock through all of this, standing by our decision to keep our distance from Bree and her kids. He's tried talking to his sister, but she's stubborn and insists that we're blowing things out of proportion. It's put him in a tough spot, being caught between his sister and his wife and daughter, but he's not wavering. The situation with my mother-in-law hasn't improved either. She's been relentless, sending me messages almost daily, urging me to forgive and forget. She even tried to guilt-trip me by saying that family should stick together no matter what. I understand where she's coming from, but it's not just about the prank anymore. It's about respect and understanding, and it seems like we're not getting that from Bree or her kids. Amara's been avoiding family gatherings, which is sad because she used to love them. She's been sticking close to home, spending time with friends who support her. It's been a relief to see her smile and laugh with them, but I know she misses the family connection. Luke and I have had a few arguments with his mum over the phone. She's adamant that we're making a mountain out of a molehill and that we should just let the kids be kids. But we're not backing down. It's about the principle of the matter, and we want Amara to know that we have her back. The tension came to a head last week when Bree showed up at our house unannounced. She wanted to talk, but it quickly became clear that her version of talking was more about telling us what we should do rather than listening. She still didn't apologise, and when I brought it up, she got defensive, saying that we were trying to make her kids out to be villains. The visit ended with Bree storming out and Luke and I feeling more frustrated than ever. It's like we're stuck in this cycle of conflict with no end in sight. I've been losing sleep over it, wondering if there's a way to mend fences without compromising our values. Amara's been quiet about the whole thing lately, but I can tell it's weighing on her. She's been more withdrawn, and I worry about the long-term impact this family feud might have on her. Luke and I have been considering family therapy to help us all process what's happened and to give Amara a space to talk about her feelings. As for the rest of the family, they're divided. Some agree with us that Bree and her kids were out of line, while others think we should just get over it. It's made for some awkward conversations and has definitely changed the dynamic at family events. Luke and I are at a crossroads. We want to protect our daughter and stand up for what's right, but we also don't want to be the cause of a permanent family split. It's a tough spot to be in, and right now, there's no clear solution in sight. The emotional turmoil is real, and it's not just affecting us. It's affecting Amara too. She's caught in the middle of this adult drama, and it's not fair to her. We're doing our best to keep her out of it, but it's hard when the conflict involves her directly. So that's where we are, a month later, and things are still unresolved. We're holding on to hope that maybe with time, Bree and her kids will come around and we can all move past this. But for now, the future of our family relationships remains uncertain. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Hey there. I'm really sorry to hear about Amara's experience. Kids can be cruel, but it's important to teach them respect for other cultures. Have you tried sitting down with Bree and her kids for a heart-to-heart about why the bindi is significant to Amara? Comment 2. It sounds like a tough situation. Standing up for your daughter is key, but family rifts are hard. Maybe consider a mediator or family therapist who specializes in cultural sensitivity to help navigate this. It could provide a neutral ground for everyone to express their feelings and learn from this. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.